But with this ES pick, it definitely opens up the possibility for DP to still be a 2 or 3. So I think the biggest value is probably here. And for Lilgun, they see the biggest heroes that they need to deal with right now is TA, is the DP. So it's all up to them to find the correct answers to that.
Team ban.
Oh,
What the hell?
wow.
What is this hero? I haven't seen this hero in quite some time. I don't remember who plays it on Lilgun.
I have no idea. It could be. I guess you want to play as a 4, I would
10
say.
seconds
Because
remaining.
playing a Dawnbreaker core into DP, I don't think you
5
like that too
seconds
much.
remaining.
But I can see the value of Solar. What is that called
Solar
again? The ultimate?
Guardian? Solar Guardian,
Yeah,
I
thank
think.
you, Solar Guardian. Yeah, I feel like when you saw this Earth Spirit and TA, you know that they are the one that wants to run into you. And it's pretty clear that they're looking for a formational draft right now. They just want to play like a ball around Gyrocopter. They want to invite as much fight as possible where Motivate.Trust Gaming are the one attacking into them. And then they can always make use of this IO heal, the Dragonite as a big body, and obviously the Solar Guardian as a counter initiation. So I think it makes some sense here in terms of enabling
Brilliant
Gyrocopter
team
and also
ban.
having a tools to play against what Motivate.Trust Gaming wants to do. But yeah, I'm like you. I haven't seen this hero
Dire
in a
team
long
ban.
while. Not to mention the games that she will be winning in. So I'm very intrigued to see how this is gonna pan out.
I'm very worried that Motivator going to run into this brick wall where Lilgun are just super survivable with the Eye Sustain, Dawnbreaker with the heal, like you said. DK's very
10
tanky.
seconds
Abaddon
remaining.
doesn't provide any damage. If it's going to be a Death Prophet core, so even more
5
damage than you're
seconds
expecting.
remaining.
If you kite through, if you get BKB, then that's a lot of Earth Spirits damage mitigated. So I think this last pick on Motivate has to be, imagine you can flex position 2 or 3, but you're probably going to reveal where the Death Prophet's going unless it's like it's a 23rd flex hero as well. But whatever they go, I think it has to be someone with damage through the early to mid game.
I have to say though, I've never seen a better Timbersaw game than this for Motivate.Trust.
Radiant team ban.
If they want to go for Timbersaw, I think that's gonna be the hero that can win them the game. Because you need heroes that can shred through this Dragon and Dawnbreaker in a matter of seconds. So that you can finally move on to the IO Gyro. Because like you say, right, they are setting up this brick wall, the Great Wall of Lilgun. So you need to have some kind of hero that
10
can go through
seconds
that
remaining.
quick to finally reach the Gyrocopter. And Timbersaw is one of the best heroes for you to
5
do that.
seconds remaining.
And it's one of Masaru's most comfortable heroes as well, right? Back when he was playing in Fnatic, the 3 heroes that he would always play and have very good performance were the Timbersaw, Tide, and
Dire
also
team
Elsie.
pick.
And Timbersaw, I would rate it as probably the number 1 hero for Masaru's back then.
So there are no spirits, no Invoker, no Parks, my Gacha Boys best heroes. Conquers, dude, the position 2s are just not there if they want to give it to Gacha. So
10
honestly,
seconds
maybe they
remaining.
do look for a 3, but it's also pretty tricky because there's not a
5
lot of
seconds
range
remaining.
3s that are strong and also someone who's like self-sufficient. Because like you said, the Earth Spirit doesn't really want to play the lane. You like making rotations and helping all the other lanes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are picking a Timbersaw, you could free up the Earthspirit to do those kind of jobs.
Yeah.
So, or any kind of heroes that are similar to a Timbersaw, I would say. But looking right now, I'm just trying to see if any kind of other heroes that could offer the same value as Timbersaw for Motivate.Trust Gaming here.
I do wonder how, because the Gyro can match up pretty well versus the Timber, though. The Rocket Barrage, we've seen like Gyro, Luna be pseudo counters to the Timber early, but you just get out of the laning phase, get a hood, and you're chilling. Oh,
all right.
I don't. It gives him a little bit of damage assistance. You've got really easy ways to take Roshan. You have pretty cool synergy with Tag Team amplifying TA
10
and the
seconds
Exorcism.
remaining.
But actually, is it just, does it help with Exo?
5
Because it's
seconds
physical
remaining.
damage, but is it right? It's right clicks, isn't? Doesn't help with spells.
Yeah, I think it's only
never
for
mind.
right clicks.
So
And I think it's
it's just cool because I think you can now break the tethered target, kick the Gyro out of formation or the IO out, and go from there. But if this is a TUS 3, Denog is going to be screaming at the screen.
Yeah, that's true. I would definitely like to see a Tusk too, though. Gacha Boy has been playing quite a lot of Tusk in his pops lately, so it could definitely be that.
Go
And you know,
Oscar.
oh yeah, Husker is looking really
Dude,
good
do
here.
it. Sorry, keep going.
I mean, I can see some synergy though. Some cool things can happen here for Motivate.Trust. For example, a spirit kick back someone, and then the guy gets kicked back again
Yeah.
by Tusk. There's some very cool synergy here that we can, you know, maybe there's a chance that we can see. But if they get Huskard here, I mean, that could just everything can just go out of the pool. Team,
You may now select your heroes.
they are the one that goes for a Team Assault against 3 tanky cores and like 3. And there's so minimum magical damage too coming from Motivate Trust Gaming. So how are you gonna counter this Team Assault? I'm not sure.
I think they can kill Timber. I think there's definitely a window where he dies with a... I think Mastros actually might have to go Spirit Vessel this game because I think Tigers could come online a little bit too late. I think we see KP doesn't mind going Spirit Vessel on Death Prophet. We've seen Razor Potato go Spirit Vessel on any offlane hero. But you've got percent damage from the Death Prophet. There's either a Vessel coming out from Mastros or Tigger. So that's your avenue. You need those things to be able to kill the Timber. But 11 has a really, really, really good Timber Saw. You were mentioning about Mastros and his potential to play the Timber. Well, 11 picks it up and he's very good at this hero.
Yeah, I can definitely see Team Assault running away with this game. Once again, they're playing 3 very tanky cores with the IO behind of them. So this is gonna be a very tricky game for Motivate Trust Gaming because they need to select their target well, and they need to make sure that they dump everything into the target that they go on first. Because if that target doesn't die, then this counter initiation coming out from Lilgun is gonna be insane. Not to mention that Dawnbreaker can always come in with the huge heal with the Solar Guardian. So I feel like this is not a very easy and direct game for Motivate Trust Gaming at all. They'll have to rely on a lot of outplays and a lot of outmaneuvers. And on the other side, for Lilgun, it's straightforward for them.
I do feel like Lilgun's
Prepare
lineup crumbles if they're not ahead, because you are very reliant on the Dragonite to set everything up, whether it be a team fight, a pick off across the map, because we often see like an IO lineup. This hero really struggles when you don't have heroes that initiate, when you don't have pick off, and when you don't have team fight. And they really don't have those things at all, which is a concern for me. I think the way that Lilgun force fights is blink on Sanctity and him being ahead and him being able to jump in and not be killed off, which I think he can die this game as well. Or it's just you take objectives. Like that's another way Lilgun can force fight, taking objectives. But if you fall behind, that is not a potential.
Yeah, that is very true. But the thing is, though, you have Io Gerald. These 2 heroes absolutely love AFK in the first 10 to 15 minutes, I would say. If you're able to get aggressive, that's even better. But if you need to play slow, I think they don't mind as well. You know, just playing the farming game against TA, I think you have a pretty good chance of matching those kind of farm. So in that terms, I feel like they don't mind playing fast or
30
slow.
seconds.
They
to
could
battle.
out tempo Motive Trust, but they don't mind matching the pace as well, I would say. Because of how much skilling they can find. You know, DK and also Timbersaw, they are not the heroes that we know in the past where they are just very slow and low damage output in the late game. They do a lot of that late game with items now.
All right, we got 5 heroes brawling out of the river. Why not? There's 11. Well, he doesn't have a point in the reactive armor. Not that it would have done too much to help out with his life. So Tigger secures first blood for Motivate.
That's a good start.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when you're up against a team wrestle, you always want to look to kill him once before he goes to the lane, because it means that it sets up for a second kill. And if you are going to get a second one, he's not going to have TP anymore to come back to the lane. So I would like to see them, Tiger maybe staying at the top lane for a little bit just to harass out the team wrestle, but it seems like they are not gonna do that. They want to prioritize Masara's game a little bit more.
I wonder how this lane's going to go for Gacha Boy against Sanctity, because already there's a huge damage advantage for the Dragonite, and we see this hero loves to go Braces, Soul Ring, and it's just not only is his strength gain really good, 3.4, but you're extra getting more strength and damage from the braces, whereas it looks like the Tusk is going to go for a bit more of a different build, bottle into phase boots, so I don't think that really helps out his lane.
This is probably one of the more boring lanes that we're gonna see. But I would say DK absolutely enjoys this lane, like you say, very tanky. But most importantly, Tusk is very similar to heroes like a Puck, right, or a Queen of Pain. You want to be moving around. So Dragon Knight is always gonna abuse those kind of timing or windows to put down some very valuable harassment on the tower. So I think that's probably what Sanity is looking for right here, just to put down tower pressure, get as early as possible to Blink Dagger into short timing, and he should be fine. And on the other side, Tusk needs to really evaluate his opportunities correctly.
And how do we feel like this top lane is going to shape up with a Io Timbersaw? It's not really a duo that we see too often. Do you feel like you're still a lane where they can get a decent amount out of the Io?
I feel so. I think Timbersaw is the kind of heroes that enjoy having sustain and also heal, so that you can push your limit a little bit forward. Because if you are putting the Dawnbreaker here, she's not gonna help enough for Timbersaw to sustain this early levels harassment coming out from TA and also the Timbersaw. Oh, look!
Radiant's middle tower is under
Then I looked away.
Hey.
I looked somewhere else because I thought someone else was dying, and then Boom Booey just gets blown up. So, okay, classic.
That was overcharged plus the rolling death, so extra damage, and also because there's 2 trees behind around the Abaddon, so he got melted.
And lastly, our bottom lane looks like a really strong lane though for Lilgun. You've got Dawnbreaker, one of the better laning stage supports. A lot of people were mentioning this level 2 combo with Starbreaker and Celestial Hammer is a lot of damage with an Orb of Venom, and we've seen the Gyros go for more emphasis in the Rocket Barrage, and he's done the same thing, so I'm a bit worried on Motivate and how they can play this lane.
It's not gonna be easy. I think it's very smart for them to go for this build on Gyro, which is becoming the more prominent build right now whenever you have the IO. And also, Dawnbreaker competing for the Orb of Venom means that they want to harass Masaras. They want to make sure that Osprey is not free to move away from this bottom lane. And it's one of the smarter ways. Oh my god, for the tree.
Yeah, they got 2 points in Crypt Swan, so he has to juke through the tree line, just hoping someone doesn't chuck out a stray ability. There's no salve or anything, so 4-2-3. I don't know if you can run back in the lane. I don't know. Someone's going to block the roll and they don't do that. And now Ace 12 might be in trouble as well. He's pretty close to the tower, but Mastros isn't going to get aggressive.
It's not the worst death, I would say. I think in this kind of scenario where there's no salve coming in, you want to die as early as possible so that you can get back to the lane full HP, full mana. It's definitely not ideal to drop kills, but in that case where his salve got cancelled, I think this is the best case scenario for him. But nonetheless, this is definitely a very good start and very good bonus skill for Masaras as well. Because we talk about how Lilgun, they want to be the aggressor here.
We saw Mastros. He was really the shining star for Motivate in game 1. His Doom had a really good laning stage, top of the net worth for I think the entirety of the game. I can't remember if he ended on top, but towards the at least couple minutes prior, he was sitting in that stage. So, and we've seen what a Death Prophet can do, man. This hero is very, very strong. So if you get him off to a flying start, then Mastros could be the one to edge them into that victory category.
Yeah, I can see if Masaras becoming top lane though. It feels like there's kills happening anytime, boy.
There might be. They have this overcharge, and well, the Abaddon being a strength hero, Kisha can't cut through the trees. Toy needs one more right click, but he will not be able to catch up. The Orb of Venom slowing Toy down.
Oh, this top lane is a huge success right now for Lilgun. We saw how strong a Timbersaw can be when he's unchecked in the early game, and not to mention this. If you look at Motivate.Trust heroes, they don't have really good or natural way to deal with the Timbersaw. They will need to, they'll need to hit on him a lot and make sure that he is free to, they're free to do so without worrying too much about the counter initiation. I'll say Silver Age might be the answer, but that's maybe 25 minutes later. So this, at least for 20 minutes, 11 is gonna feel really good.
Lane, gotcha. Playing with his food. They're gonna TP in the Io, so this is We'll see. This is a question I was going to bring up, and how do they dissolve the lane? Because Timber wants to be solo. Once you start getting your levels, you really want to be in the lane solo, but an Eye wants to play the lane. And I was intrigued on how this dynamic would work, but I think it's perfect that Kishka goes mid. You've got a catapult timer, you've got Elder Dragon form. Just buff the Dragonite up so he can sustain the towers and get a very early objective. Oh, this is so
even
cool.
using the glyph too.
Arthur, I cannot stress how much of a fan I am. We're seeing supports rotate mid with Dragonites and Death Prophets, just utilizing this early timing exceptionally well. And what can you do on an Abaddon? Like, he's gonna rotate, you get a kill, maybe with Masteros TPing in as well. Sanctity's gonna be in some trouble. Kishka doing the best he can to hold them back. Sanctity's actually gonna TP out, but Masteros, with the help of the damage, is what they need. And okay, Motivate. Very nice. Massa needs a little bit of mana for Exo. Maybe they'll stick around for their own siege.
They want to. Oh no, Ace.
Wait, TP back into the depths. The depths of hell is Ace getting sustained, but now Mastros, he's got the mana to be able to utilize. Exo out, 11 TPing in. I don't know if 11 can man fight this. No mana available for the Spirit Siphon. They are dragging them away from the tower, but Motivate getting a couple of key kills into some decent damage, chunking away the life pool of the tier 1.
Oh, it feels like Lilgun didn't expect Motivate.Trust to bring so much numbers to deal with the DK, which is something that is probably a little bit usual, right? Normally, Dragon Form is the timing where you want to kill the Dragonite with numbers so that you shut him down a little bit. Don't let him get any kind of free towers, and that is the mindset of Motivate.Trust. And they were able to find this very good Ice Shard to block his retreat as well, which is where, you know, Masaros saw that and then he instantly TP'd down to finish him off with the Siphon. So very good communication so far coming from Motivate.Trust. They understand that this DK and Timbersaw are both very tanky, but they weren't phased by it. They were still thinking about the answers towards it. And that's what you like to see.
Yeah, I think Gotcha Boy has been exceptional. I was very worried that his lane wouldn't have gone as well as what I was hoping, but you know, we see the different build now for a lot of core Tusk, where it's you're avoiding tag team. Your Shards and Snowball did get buffed up in the last patch, so it's a little bit more damage, and that was just all he needed. Just spamming out spells, utilizing that to secure runes, and now he's hunting. He's onto 4-2-3 bottom. He flies over the Shards. He gets an easy clean up with the haste, and now he might be eyeing up a secondary target. Ability still on cooldown for quite some time. This is space though, as with all this going on across the map, Lilgun have found the tier 1 mid.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Alright.
attack.
I would say you are happy with the trade though. You are giving up the tier 1 mid that is about to die
Top
anyway.
lane, Arthur. 11? Is he actually going to go down to this, trying to tank up reactive armor? But Toy gets a solo kill. A solo kill on Toy against the Timbersaw. And the tips are well deserved.
Oh, this is the game for Toy to shine, man. You know, we talk about how TA and Medusa are their bread and butter. And Toy definitely looking to enjoy that. I think they picked the first pick so that they can 8-pick the TA as well. On the other side though, Ace getting punished once again. It seems like they are falling apart. The movement on the mid lane was good. Once they get punished though, it was all Motivate.Trust.
And this is huge that Mastros is the one getting the kills. You know, well, that one, it was his first, but it's going to be a really good Spirit Vessel timing, and that will be before the Hood and the Yours is completed. The most important one is the Yours, though, to dispel the Spirit Vessel.
And it's still quite far away, I would say. Oh, top lane, Toy. He's just gonna TP out, so no pressure for him. It seems like you say, all the stars are lining here for Motivate.Trust. All the item timings are about to hit, they're about to come together very soon. The level 6 is also should be up after a Spirit consumed the tomb. So I think this is probably fight time again for Motivate.Trust.
Keeping tabs on both sides, Ancients. Looks like Motivate, they've got... Is that a quad? Yeah, it's a lot of stacks. Yeah, so Toy's going to be able to farm up the Ancients, get a couple of tier 1s. Granted, they've got a couple of stacks as well for the Gyrocopter, which we are seeing go into a much more greedy farming build with this first item, Agnums.
Alright. We used to see some Crystallis being a first item,
Radiant
and
structures are
also
fortified.
maybe like a casual Falcon Blade as well. But in this case, he
Radiant's
understands that
middle
he needs to
tower is
match the
under
farm of the
attack.
TA, especially when the early game is not
Dire's
getting
top
broken
tower is
apart
under
by the
attack.
Timbersaw and also DK. So I like
Radiant's
it.
middle tower
This
has fallen.
recontrol, this tempo recontrol all started coming out from the first Tier 1 defense. So Motivate.Trust communicating that very well, and they are getting the rewards coming out from it now.
Yeah, I don't think Lilgun can actually 5-on-5 now. I think this Spirit Vessel timing is putting Lilgun in a very awkward position where they thought that Timber was going to be able to have a lot more impact early. So I do not think he can show up to any of these fights wherever the Death Prophet is. So DP is the number 1 target that they need to have information on. And Radiant just need to go for pickoffs. You have a good global presence with Solar Guardian +1, with the IO +1 relocate as well. So that's really, I think that is all enabled though from Sanctity's Blink. So that's the next item we're looking for on Lilgun.
It's not very far away. It's about 700 gold. It's just a matter of whether you have the time or space to finish that off or not. Because Motivate.Trust, they are ready for fight now. Anyone that shows up,
they're going on 11.
Yep.
They get the stun just before the Timber Chain out, and he melts. He gets ripped apart. Spirit Vessel, percent damage in the Siphon. That is all they needed. Mastro is such an awesome read. He's like, we need this fast vessel. Tigger's going to get it too late. We've got to come online early, put the Timber in the grave so we can't snowball this game, and they've done just that.
yeah, and you caught that exactly during the drafting phase as well. So this vessel is definitely going to be the catalyst for them to push the tempo up. And you know what? Toy, his Desolator is about to come up at 500 gold. So that's going to be a very good timing for you to control Roshan. And obviously, it's going to be a very good item to kill the Timbersaw. So all of a sudden, this Timbersaw, we talk about how he might have a very good game, but this early game control coming up from Motivate.Trust is absolutely slowing down everyone's tempo on Lilgun.
And it's just going to be too slow for Lilgun now. This Aghanims, you're going to need a +1 after it. This is an item that really excels your farming speed, but your involvement in fights early with it is just not as great as the Chrysalis or the Diffusal Blade. So I wonder if 423 is going to be a position where he has to go BKB next item just because they could get ran over when Dai get ages.
Yeah, it feels like whatever item is gonna come next, it doesn't feel comfortable for you to step into the fight. So if you are going for BKB, it means that you are not gonna be offering a lot of DPS damage, which you need to bring down the tanky heroes on Motivate.Trust side. But if you go for damage item, could you stay alive? There's just so many question marks right now for Lilgun to solve. Okay. And it doesn't seem like they want. Okay, they're smoking up now.
Under a ward, so they see all of Motivate smoking. But they are also under their own ward. 423 and Kishka. Gotta be cautious because Motivate are definitely in a position where they'll excel in this team fight. Ace the targeted jump, he gets over the shards. Mastros purged off instantly. Timber's actually gonna brute force into the middle of the fight, but Mastros has had enough time to charge up the spells and further to the higher ground they go. Snowballing towards the backline, focusing on the supports on Lilgun as Gachaboy and Mastros clean off the eye support, and the rest of Radiant crumble under the pressure as Motivate lose no one.
And it's gonna be instant rush for them. Exorcism still has a little bit of time, but you don't really need that when you have Deso already on TA and the max level melt as well. That fight was really a lot on Masaros. He was able to zone out the entire backline of Lilgun, while the only stun that you mentioned that Lilgun has is the Dragon Tail got dispelled instantly by Abaddon.
Oh, they might get 11 too. Gachaboy, initial start, ticket to follow. And now with the Spirit Vessel applied, oh, he doesn't get the deny to the neutrals. Oh no, bad to worse as now Aegis claimed on Toy.
Oh, this is really Toy's game to win right now. 9k net worth in 15 minutes. I don't think I've seen a better TA game than this. Toy is really stepping up this game, especially the first, the solo queue in the top lane on Timbersaw alone. That was quite impressive. So far, Toy has been really sharp today.
feel like there's multiple factors that go into that previous team fight loss for Lilgun. They saw Dire smoked. They had all the information. They knew the hero smoked, where they were, the trajectory they were leading this attempt, and they wanted to take that fight. They felt like they're in a position where they could contend into Motivate this early on. But one thing they didn't know is that they were playing underneath Dire's Observable, which is still up by the kind of top secret shop area. So that was, I think, a ward placed from Tigger early to enable that. So big props to him for them to really be in the position they're in now off that one fight.
Oh, Sanity.
He does have TP though. I don't think he can. Mastros is soon to connect. No one's TPing down bottom. You've got Solar Guardian, Relocate as well as a potential, but they're just going to feed him to the wolves as Motivate. Get an easy kill onto a core.
Seems like the mindset for Lilgun right now is that everyone try your best to split push. We're not going to help. You know, it's alright if you die, but we are absolutely trying to avoid team wipes or any kind of, you know, 3 to 4 man scrimmages. So if you die, you know, you are on your own. So it feels like that's the kind of message they are sending to their cores right now. They are trying to push out the side lanes. But if you look at Motivate.Trust, they are hugging together. They're always making sure that some, you know, the Abaddon is behind the TA and there's some stun hanging around, so that if they happen to catch anyone out of position, they will be there to punish it.
This could be something to work with on Lilgun. They've got a ward up for a minute still in the jungle, the bottom jungle. I don't think it'll matter too much with the position they're in, but I placed a couple of sentries down to try and get the D ward, and they weren't on point. So if Lilgun do feel like they're in a position, maybe they can get a stragglers motivated retreating from this tier 2, then that could give them a bump of momentum.
Or, you know, you're hoping that Motivate.Trust might make a big mistake here for you to punish. Because if they don't, if they be disciplined and play together, they could just take all your towers away. And like you say, right, there's no way Lilgun can 5 versus 5 this right now.
Not again, Arthur. You gotta deal with this high ground, the same spot. Still without the BKB on 4-2-3. Gotcha in. They're gonna try and relocate him out to safety, but Gotcha boy, what a recognition. The target priority, chasing down the Iron, making sure there is just no room for Kishka to play these fights. As Mastros in the end has the finishing blow. You get away on Sanctity, but 2 heroes are in the grave, sent back to base in a body bag, and now this tier 1 tower is gonna fall as well.
Top tower has fallen.
Man, Lilgun, they were spamming sentries, man. They are. Look at the sentries on the ground. But that's the one spot that they didn't check. And it happens to be the one that lost them 2 very valuable heroes. So far, Motivate.Trust completely controlling the tempo of this game. And it's all about them. How do they want to close out this game? Because I think they are in a pretty commanding position.
The easy pickoff. We brought up game 1 with that real big fight in game 1 was the Roche fight for Lilgun with the Harpy helmed on, which gave them all the information. I think in that fight, I said vision wins games, and we're seeing the exact same thing for Motivate. Those 2 wards, so those 2 fights by that ward by the secret shop, those are the past 2 big team fights, and that has ballooned this net worth lead up to 8,000, and I don't think there's any stopping Motivate now.
Yeah, not at all. They are getting a lot of resources coming out from all these engagements as well. And I feel like, you know, the consensus of this meta is that when you lose fight continuously back to back, it feels like the 3rd fight, the 4th fight is going to be a lot harder to come back to. Especially when your enemies are playing as 5. And I feel like that's exactly this case. I just don't see what item Lilgun can get.
They've got relocate. Kishka, no messing around. It's going to try and charge it up and get out. Oh my god, Tigger was so close to hitting that silence. At least just predicting where the Iron might be coming from. So they're getting on the return, which is at least something. Kishka's not even going to move. Oh, might move a little bit now.
He's looking for something to tether to, but recognize that there's nothing there, so might as well just make it quick. Just end his misery.
Sanctity, he's...
might look at Toy.
Again,
just look at Boom. Boom is always beside Toy. Always making sure that he's never gonna get punished.
Yeah, who does Toy jump? It's gonna wait for the hammer afterwards so Toy can continue the chase, but a piggy out, is that enough? Blink still on cooldown, Sanctity jumping in, just looking to disrupt, but Sanctity still has to respect the damage that can come out from this Templar Assassin. Even, oh, gotcha! The punch before the chain gets to Tivisol before he can even get back inside the base, and now they're on to 4-2-3. Mastros is charging up the higher ground as the Gyro tries to stand his ground. They might be in a position where they want to call it quits. There seems to be no angle back into this game as Motivate. They'll tie it up. Toy drops and full stops as that is a statement game from the carry player on Motivate.
Oh, definitely. This is probably one of the biggest throwing coming up from Toy. But I would say, man, it's really the entire team communication that really enables him to do so. Especially, it all really comes down to the first tower defense, right? It feels like ever since they punished the DK for the first time, the game was always in their control after that. And Lilgun, they just never got back to what their draft is supposed to do after that point. So communication-wise, it was really crispy coming up from Motivate.Trust this time, and everyone else has played such a perfect game. All three of the dev are all on Boom Boy, which is completely fine because that's what your position 5 want to do, is to tank up the spells, soak up some of this dev for its course, and no other ones died a single times in this game. It's perfect for them.
Without a doubt, there's very few games where you will have a flawless game, but in regards to death, but that is as close as what it's going to be. Like you said, you really don't care about those 3 deaths on Boom Boom. He fulfilled his role without a doubt, and so did the rest of Motivate. I think what we saw, just Tigger with his warding, how Mastros itemized as well, and I think this puts him in a really good position because they've now shown that Coddle's going to be banned, I think, in next game as well. They're not going to give Lilgun Coddle in game 3. They're not going to be worried about the IO. Lilgun have really struggled with the IO through through this spring tour and prior. So I think you leave it in the pool. And I'm now trying to remember what the second they got rid of the Lycan. So this now really opens up the draft. You can still ban Lycan and Coddle again. You're not worried about the IO getting through. Maybe this could put Lilgun in a position where they think about going back into a Broodmother strat where, like, all right, we're backs against the wall. This is our last series, and this is a series that could determine at least their seeding. It's nothing crazy. Of course, they cannot be promoted, but a 3rd and 4th place position, well, Arthur, you said it was about $3,000 difference, so it's still, it's a good chunk of change.
Oh, definitely. There's definitely some motivation for you to fight for as well. And most importantly, there's a huge fan base for both of these teams, right? Because they are the representative of their own country. So there is a lot of people rooting for them. Playing for fans is also a very big motivation as well. So this game 3, I think it's going to be very spicy because so far we have seen 2 very stompy games. I think game 3 might be a close one.
The Mongolian lads up against the Thai lads, but it's Thai coming out on top in our second game, but we are going the distance. Can Motivate edge out the victory in game 3, or do Lilgun have what it takes to win their last series? We'll find out after the break.